What's up, everybody? John Eric Polai here with my MMA news, and today's guest just defeated Said Nurmagomedov by unanimous decision at UFC Vegas 71. Pleased today to be joined by Jonathan Martinez. Jonathan, thanks for doing this, man. Really appreciate the time. Congrats on the win.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
So, before we get into the exact X's and O's of this fight, I do want to just back up to the preparation for this fight because you're a guy, you're kind of big for that bantamweight division. Well, then you fight a guy like Saeed, right? He's tall, he's long, even bigger than really what you are for this division. Just what was it like preparing for a guy like that?
Honestly, it wasn't that hard just because, I have Yusuf Salah. He's the same height as him. I have David Onama. And then, Chris Gutierrez, So I had all these guys that could pretty much imitate the way he fights and stuff. So it was a good camp.
And that's credit to the great team that you're with there. We're going to talk about the team a little bit later on here in the interview. I do want to talk a little bit about the fight here first. Before we get into a round by round breakdown of the fight, how happy are you with this win, man? It was a hard fought win. I told you this before we came on air here. Like, just to watch it as a fan, it was an exciting fight to watch. There was so much action. Just how good does it feel to be talking about a victory in what was a really hard fought contest like that?
Yeah, it was hard. I prepared myself real good. I trained super hard for it, and it showed, later in the rounds, when it was time to go and push it, I had the gas tank to do it. And he's a tough opponent. Pretty much a lot of people didn't really want to fight him. I just jump in there, but yeah, came out good.
All right, let's get into a round by round breakdown now of this whole entire fight. So, round one, lots of action, right? I think he had a few submission attempts, a lot of punches, a lot of kicks, a lot of clinch work. I think both of you guys clipped each other in the round. A lot of action. What a high pace for the first 5 minutes of that contest there. Just what was that round like in your eyes and how you saw it play out?
It was pretty fast. Like I guess I don't know how it happened. He got my back. He got my back real quick. I didn't feel no danger. I'm always working a lot of different positions and stuff. I just had to stay calm. A lot of people in those positions, they start panicking and start worrying about it. So kind of stay calm, and then when I find a little opening, I try to explode and get out of there and stuff. So yeah, it was good. His kicks were on point and stuff. Took me a little while to just find my range. And then I went back to the corner, and then you know I just tried ready for the second round.
All right, let's talk about that second round now. So he comes out, he gets a takedown in the very first minute of the round. You're able to get back to your feet pretty quickly. He shoots right back in for another one. This time you stuff it, and you just go to work, kind of, from the clinch against the cage there. Just what was that round in your eyes, and how you think it played out in your favor?
It was good. I know when he took me down. I know try not to say as much because the judges look at that loss. So I try to get a sweep and get back up, and then control him in the cage. I feel really strong there, and I didn't feel he was strong there in the cage. So why not keep him there, smother him, and then just work from there and stuff. So that's what I try to do.
All right, and then the last round, then again, very close round. So he ends up getting a takedown. You actually almost get a submission attempt. So I guess part one to the question is just how close was that submission there? Did you think you had him? And then just the rest of the round after that, because it was very competitive, very back and forth, a lot of action that last round as well.
It was close. I thought it was close, and he started stepping on my head to get out. So I was just like, I just didn't want to. I was kind of a little bit tired, so I didn't want to like just wait there and then him landing on the top. And so I just kind of let it go. He got my back, and I remember looking up at the clock, and I was like, okay, we almost got 3 minutes. I need to try to escape and get back up and start working because the judges see all that. So we just try to get back up and just control him in the cage. So pretty much don't really leave from there. He likes to do all this flashy stuff, so just control it there and then work from there. Start throwing knees and just start working from there.
And then after the fight, right, what was the mindset kind of like there? Were there any nerves as the judges were reading off the scorecards? Because it was a very close fight, and all three judges had it 2 rounds to 1 in your favor. So obviously they had it very close as well.
Yeah, honestly, I felt good. You know, I felt like I did enough to win the fight. So I pretty much I was like, yeah, they're gonna give it to me. So I didn't think I lost. I knew I won and stuff. I know a lot of people say different, you know, but they're gonna say what they're gonna say. But it was the other way around. If I was the one striking, and you know, if he's the one holding me in the cage, oh yeah, he won because he hold you there. You know what I mean? So it'll be the same thing, you know. And I did what he pretty much what they do, you know, try to hold you there and try to control you there, work from there. You know, I did that to him, so I guess a lot of people don't like that, but it is what it is.
So one of the cool things with this fight here was they still had it in Vegas, but instead of putting it at the Apex like they've been doing, they put it at the Virgin Hotels, the old Hard Rock. So there was, I think, what, like 4 or 5 thousand in attendance, something along those lines. But the crowd, you could definitely tell they were amped up to be there. There was definitely a lot of energy inside of there. I know during your fight too, a lot of people yelling, screaming, cheering, and everything there. How cool was that to be able to fight back in Vegas in front of a crowd instead of the Apex?
Yeah, it was small, but it was pretty cool though. You know, I was kind of excited just you know seeing the crowd. I didn't think I was gonna have like a lot of crowd, but you know, I came out, they started screaming, and I was like, and they got me like pumped up, and I was like, man, I'm ready to fight. I was really excited, just seeing see everybody was screaming my name, and you know, congratulations, and it was pretty good.
I'll tell you what, you guys definitely put on a good show for the fans that were in attendance that night, and for everybody watching on TV too. It was a great fight to watch, and obviously we just went through the fight. You get the hard fought victory there, and now you are ranked in the division, number 14. The rankings at the time of recording this on Tuesday, the rankings just came out a little bit ago, and they had you at 14. I know you've been trying to crack those rankings. Just how good does it feel to be ranked now?
Yeah, man, that's kind of it's kind of cool. You know, I'm ranked now, and then so I'm 14, and my teammate Chris is 13, so we're pretty much right next to each other. You know, he fights in a couple weeks. He's fight Pedro Munoz, so you know, I'm excited to watch that one.
Yeah, and right. So you mentioned your teammate there, and actually earlier in the interview, you mentioned about how great your camp was, and you gave a little shout out to the coaches there. Let's talk about the gym now here just a little bit at Factory X. A lot of great minds in the gym, a lot of great training partners in the gym. Just what's it been like training there, and just a big, I guess, shout out too to your coaches. I know your coaches did a fantastic job in the corner, and I don't know if you watched the broadcast back or not, but the commentary was just praising your coaches for the work that they were doing in between rounds with you.
Yeah, man. Our coaching is like we have so much people that are so good in the gym. You know, a lot of people in there they're not in the UFC. Yeah, and they're so good. You know, we have all these fighters that go there. We're just like a big family. We get in there, we get to work. You know, every day, and we grind, we grind. You know, like we got Brandon fighting too. You know, Dustin. You know, so we have all these guys that in there that are always putting work in all the time. So, you know, Coach Mark is a really smart guy. You know, he knows what he's doing. Like, you know, I've been around a lot of different coaches, you know, and Coach Mark is one legit guy.
All right, so now the big question on everybody's mind, right? You get the big win, you get the ranking next to your name. What's next for you? Do you have a certain person in mind? I know you had a few names in mind after the fight. Is that still the case now?
Yeah, yeah. If I could get, you know, Dominic Cruz, you know, like I'm just a big fan of Dominic Cruz, and you know, I just want to see him on the other side of the octagon, you know, because I watched him growing up. So, you know, and rank is high. So, you know, it'd be good to fight him or, you know, or Figgy, you know, wants to come up, you know, so any of those two would be good.
I see. Do you have one that you prefer over the other, or you just whatever you get, you'll take as long as it's hopefully one of those two guys?
Yeah, whatever it comes up, you know, uh, I'll take.
I say I'm actually a big fan of Dominic Cruz as well, not only just as a fighter, but his commentary work is fantastic as well. I know you mentioned right being a big fan of him. Do you think you'd be starstruck at all if they are to make that matchup there? Would you be starstruck at all standing across the octagon and seeing him there?
No, I'm really good shutting that down. It was like I was a big fan of Cub Swansea too. You know, like went in there and you know I did what I had to do. So you know after that, that's when I just started like But in that, like it's just another name and they're another face. So I'm really pretty good at blocking that.
All right, man. Appreciate all the time here today. Again, congrats on that win there. Last thing before you head out today, give a shout out to your social media so people know where to follow you at. You have any management or sponsorships that you got to plug, anything like that? Take it away.
Yeah, I just want to a big shout out to Factory X, and all my teammates that helped me out, and follow on Instagram, Martinez 3 Jonathan.